Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for a spooky Halloween edition of Very Biased Opinions. And boy, have we got a show for you. You're not going to want to miss this one. You've got Thomas Pickering coming off his long run in a few minutes after what we saw at the weekend. He'll be fully charged and ready to drop some bombs, no doubt, on his beloved Manchester United. But before we get to that, we have just got to thank the people that did their predictions for last week's video. And Thomas, we have had so many people entering. It is unbelievable. We have something like 11 people, which is crazy. It's getting bigger. It's turning into a global phenomenon week by week. But poor old Thomas, he is inundated with your letters coming in, asking, how do we play? How do we play? And, you know, it's very, very simple. I will just flash Thomas's address up on the screen so you can send more letters to him. Very, very simple. All you do, if you want to have a shout out on next week's video, is give your predictions down below in the comments and we'll give you a shout out. It's very, very simple. And we'll start with Shane O'Donnell, regular on the channel. Thank you very much, Shane. And a very respectable performance. 6 points, 6 correct forecasts. Well done. Patrick Silk, good performance as well, Patrick. 1 correct score for Crystal Palace game, but 8 points overall. Excellent, actually. Really, really good. Robert Allen, 4 points. Went a bit bold. He was the only one, I think, only one other than you, Tom, I think, and a few others that put Man United down to win. So we didn't get anything for there. But 4 points for Robert Allen, as it's 4 points for Suhail Zubair. Well done, Suhail. He's been a winner in the past, so not quite as good this week. A. Judy, Manchester United fan, put them down for a creditable draw, but also wasn't too pleased with the Ollie Clown thumbnail that I put up. So apologies for that, but you did get a correct score for getting Leicester and you got 7 points overall. Roberto the Hornet, he only got 4 points, but he must be the happiest man in all of Toyland with his Glory Hornet boys getting that 5-2 win over Everton. I think he was the only person to get a point for that score this weekend. Paul Ridgely, another regular for the channel, he got 5 points, 5 correct forecasts. Well done. Nadil Banji, sorry, apologies. He also got 5 points. I think that's your first time. No, I tell a lie, but might be your first time giving predictions. But thank you very much. And now we come on to a new voter, a new predictor. Great name, Hassan Poop. Don't laugh. And he got 2 points, but he only put 9 scores, Thomas. He's one of these people just forgot a score. Newcastle versus Palace must have been so dull for him, he forgot. And Snyball99, our Brighton fan, and he had to put Brighton down for something, so he missed out on a City banker there. But he got 4 points overall, so well done, and another regular predictor there in Snyball99. But the champion, the winner, is back to his rightful place at the top of the mountain, is Manish Thapar with 11 points, 2 correct scores. My God, how does he do it? He is a king amongst men. Correct score for Palace, correct score for Leeds, and just dominated overall with 11 points. So well done to Manish. And once again, if you do want to play along next week, give your predictions down below and we'll give you a shout out. Hit like, hit subscribe, but that is all the hot dogging and grandstanding out of the way because we're ready. We're ready for the first game, and boy, is Tom ready to talk about this. It's Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United.
Yeah, so Spurs coming off a really tough game on Sunday. They lost 1-0 to West Ham United.
No, we don't want to hear you talk about Tottenham.
You sure? I don't think any of the games are played this weekend, Ian. I mean, like, there's no other games. It's a Leicester win against Brentford. I mean, oh my God. Oh my God. I'd like to know from anyone watching this channel if they've ever seen a worse Man United performance, because I certainly haven't. 5-1 against City pales to 5-0 Liverpool while you're at home. That might be the worst Man United performance of all time. I mean, I'm pretty sure David Moyes would have gotten fired over this, but Ollie's probably going to get a contract extension. That was... I mean, that... You might need to help me here. Words are failing me, because, like... What was that?
Look, I mean, you could talk about previous bad results, but Manchester United were in such a better place as a club when these anomalies kind of happened. You felt this was going to happen at some point. You, especially after the Atalanta game where they got away with it. And Ollie got praise for this remarkable comeback, which clearly was just getting away with it. And then they went and tried to play the same kind of gung-ho way against Liverpool and just got destroyed. Destroyed in all aspects.
There's nothing out there. There's no semblance of a style. There's no semblance of a cohesive plan. We've been saying it for months, like literally for months. And I think anybody who really likes football has been watching Man United and thinking the same thing. When they play well, it's Bruno Fernandes having like just an unplayable game. It's Greenwood scoring a good goal. Rashford scoring, it's all their attacking players firing on all 6 cylinders and getting lucky at the back because they give up 3 or 4 really good opportunities every match. Varane or not, Maguire or not, De Gea or not, there's no defensive solidity there, and they have a team that could possess the ball all the time, that could begin to start to try and play this Liverpool, City, Bayern, Real style of football where they can, create a chokehold, but they don't. They give the ball away frequently. They don't have ball players in center defensive midfield. They have a guy called Paul Pogba, but they don't let him on the pitch, and then they throw him on as a sub in the second half when they're 4-0 down, and everyone vilifies him for getting sent off. As if it's Paul Pogba's fault we just lost 5-0. It's 4-0 at half time.
I'm pretty sure it was 0-0 when he came on. No, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It just beggars belief, like the excuses being made at this point, and like people really want Solskjaer to succeed. It's like everyone wants him to, but it's a failure. It's a fail. He did what he needed to do. He righted the ship. He got Man United going. He got the players believing in themselves fine. He's not tactically adept to do this. Mike Phelan is not tactically adept to do this. Michael Carrick is not tactically adept to do this. We don't seem to have a coaching staff with any success. And we're treating them like they're in charge. Like they got a bunch of like diamonds. It's insane. The United side, look at that bench.
Can I ask you a couple of questions? And,
sure.
Because you could, it literally, it's where to start, really, isn't it? I mean, it's crazy. But Manchester United under Solskjaer in the past, in these games in particular, where they've played the top sides, he's played quite deep and hit them on the counter attack. So why has he gone away from that style?
Because he needs to. Because he knows that his sides now need to win games. He knows no one will accept a 0-0 draw. He knows that you can't sign Cristiano Ronaldo. In that instance,
would you not have accepted it? Wouldn't Man United fans would not have accepted a tight and cagey 0-0?
I think maybe they would have, but the truth of the matter is that I think United fans have waited and they've waited and they've waited, and they're looking at a side that has Edison Cavani, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Greenwood, Pogba, like Luke Shaw,
Donny van der Beek,
like Jadon Sancho, like Lingard, all these players that, like, even if they're not the best in the game, are actually really good backups. And they're like, well, you have to start playing like that now. We have to stop going into every game with Liverpool, City, Spurs, even Spurs to a certain extent being like, well, we're just going to sit back and hope for a 0-0 because losing is bad. But you're like, at some point you have to win. At some point you have to win these games. I don't know how you make this Man United side better. I don't know what player needs to be brought in, but I know that Fred is not the player who should be out there. I know he literally cannot hold the team together. Maguire's shortcomings were on show the last 2 matches. Luke Shaw's all of a sudden gone missing. I don't blame Victor Lindelof for this. Wan-Bissaka is just having a bit of a bad start. De Gea's had a great year thus far. But the whole team is just... there's no style of play.
Yeah.
You just hope all 11 of them can do something every game.
The team looked lazy the way they pressed, and then they couldn't play out from the back. And Maguire's just having a horror show at the moment. And it's when he's bad, he's really bad, isn't he? He looks terrible. When he's good, when he's in good form, he hides his shortcomings well. But when he's out of form, he looks Bambi on ice at times. I mean, especially when they ran into each other for one of the goals, him and Shaw was really bad. But also as well, like, I'm sorry, just 2 more things. I would love to have seen what Pep Guardiola would do with Donny van der Beek and with Sancho.
Paul Pogba. What would he do with Paul Pogba?
I don't know, but Pogba plays. I'd love to see, because Van der Beek is literally just almost been the forgotten man of football. He's an extremely talented player, wasted on a Manchester United bench doing nothing, and that is a criminal indictment of how Ollie sees him. And
this is also Ollie to a T, right? Like, no matter who's on the bench, he never seems to trust the bench. He's never used his bench correctly, ever.
Yeah. And also as well, when you've got, like, Ronaldo can't run, so why not just play in a system? Why not even play fucking back to basics 4-4-2 and play an old school Man United way of just bombing the ball into the box and getting one of the best headers in world football, service after service after service? Because that seems like an effective way to get goals and effective use of him. But look, I don't know why he's still there. How much time do you think he's got left?
6 years.
There's been talk of 3 get the City game, haven't there? They've said.
I mean, the thing is that we know that he can set. I'm just going on this for too long, but we know he can set a team up to draw 0-0. We know that he's done that before. The question is, like, you know, his statement is, "We've come too far to stop here." I know what that means. This is the best Man United side possibly since Ferguson left, if not one of the best Man United. Like,
that comment of "we've come too far," it was like he was reading Linkin Park lines.
This is a really good team, isn't it? Like, this is a really good side. You're looking at it on paper, just going like, "Yeah, we should be challenging for a Premier League title." We're not. Do you know what we're doing right now, Ian? We're sat next to Arsenal in the table. That's what we're doing.
There's no fair shame in that. But it's the first time I've looked at a Man United side and thought Jemba couldn't get in it for a while. So it is a good side. But look, they are coming up against a Tottenham side that also aren't particularly great. They lost to West Ham by a 0-0. Kane looks way off the pace. Kane looks really sometimes like he can't be bothered. The side's really struggling. I can see both managers making this a really tight and cagey game just because they both need something out of it. But I'd be fascinated to see. You kind of have to pick Man United. That's the rules of the game. But what are you going to go for?
9-8 on penalties? No, we don't get penalties on this. 2-1 to United.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I could see Ollie getting a win in this one as well. But I am going to back Tottenham. I just think Nuno's going to really... He should really take advantage of this and exploit it. But I don't think they're going to be able to. But I'm going to see... I did well with my draws last week, so let's carry it on and be boring. 1-1 draw.
Just really quickly on Spurs. I think Jose Mourinho saw it. I think Mauricio Pochettino saw it. And I think Nuno's having to really play with it. The midfield just is not good enough. And
definitely,
when Kane's not on form, no one seems to be capable of getting the ball to Son, despite him making what looks like 1,000 forward runs a match. And defensively, they're average. And as much as, I think Nuno's taking a lot of flack for how badly Spurs are doing, it's not a very good team.
It's not a great side, is it? It's not really. No, you're absolutely right. And it is, again, in a way, there's similarities to the Manchester United side, where it is just like individual brilliance that just drags them up in certain games. But generally, the quality through the side outside of Harry Kane and Son isn't very good at all. And players like Ndombele turn it on for the odd game here and there and look great, and other times go missing. But anyway, that was a big one, but it needed to be big, and I hope you'll forgive us for doing a lot of time on that one, but it was kind of a shocking moment in football yesterday. But we move on to conquerors of Manchester United, Liverpool versus the great Brighton and Hove Albion.
Sorry, Liverpool played this weekend?
They did. You might have missed it. It was on Friday night.
Absolutely fantastic play from Liverpool. They won 5-0, deserved winners. There's nothing really left to say about that Liverpool side. They're challenging for the title. It turns out that the only thing they were missing last season was Virgil van Dijk. When he plays, they look like one of the best teams on earth. I don't think a huge amount more needs to be said because you've just heard me talk about it for 20 minutes. Brighton lost 4-1 to Man City. Not a surprise in any way. They still sit above Man United in the table. They still look like the exact same side they've been for a decade. This is not a match that excites me a huge amount. Liverpool are going to win 3-0.
Yeah, especially as Brighton beat Liverpool at Anfield last season. So Liverpool will be looking for a lot of revenge in that one. And it should be a good hell of a good feel-good factor. Look, Salah is amazing. He's the best player in the world at the moment. And there's still people that said he doesn't get the credit he deserves. How can he not get the credit he deserves? They literally call him the best player in the world. What more credit do you want?
Ever, Ian. best player ever.
Do you want literally him to have to wear a crown every time he walks around the pitch? I would imagine Liverpool will win this quite comfortably, and I think I'm just actually going to match your score. I think it will be 3-0 to Liverpool.
Newcastle United versus Chelsea.
The weird thing, Tom, is that Man United game has Richie just eclipsed everything that happened this weekend. But Chelsea hit Norwich for 7. And I know Norwich are terrible, but that is a hell of an effort considering Lukaku. And no, you'll get your chance to speak. Considering Lukaku and Timo Werner were injured, it was like putting your finger through a soggy piece of tissue paper. It was that. Sorry, I saw your face. It was that easy. And
so relieved.
They come up against another set of whipping boys here, Tom. So more carnage you would expect.
Yeah, no, Newcastle are going to get absolutely battered in this. I'm going to enjoy watching Newcastle lose until they buy half the league, and then they buy the league, and then they buy Champions League. But until then, I'm going to enjoy this Chelsea side running absolutely rampant. We all know I appreciate them. We all know I like them. And Mason Mount doing well despite apparently people still disliking him. I don't know. 4-0 to Chelsea.
And who's this young upstart? Hudson Odoi? Never heard of him. Never ever heard of him. But in all seriousness, very nice to see him back. He's a very good football player and looks great. And when he's on form, he's like a bit of a Rolls Royce of a player, isn't he? So, yeah.
Is that a silent dig at Man United? Just to...
No, not really at all. It's like he's everything you kind of want in a football player, isn't he? Really, he's really good. Quick, he's powerful, he drives the game forward, and he can score.
Huge human being.
Newcastle may have to buy a championship before they buy a premiership, and because Chelsea are going to smash them. I think Callum Wilson will get a goal here. Somehow they'll get one past Edward Mendy, although that looks impossible at the moment. 3-1 to Chelsea.
Manchester City versus Crystal Palace.
Another game that kind of went by the radar, really. Manchester City pasted Brighton by 4-1. It wasn't a surprise. They were outstanding in the game as well. And all the usual suspects played well, and every single member of the squad looks amazing. There's not much more you can really say about City. They are firing on all cylinders, and if this continues between Liverpool, Chelsea and City, then we are in for a banging title race because all three of them are playing fantastic football at the moment. And you could only imagine this will be another routine win for Man City, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 5-0 to City.
5 going that high against Patrick Vieira, the Invincible. You're back.
Yeah, I mean, his side just drew with Newcastle. I've lost all faith again.
Not getting the hugest amount of luck, though, Crystal Palace. I must say, they've had a difficult start. They are playing well. They should have beat Arsenal. Then they should have beat Newcastle and had a VAR goal disallowed at the end. But you've got to win these games. Premier League's pretty brutal. You can't just play well and expect to get points. You've got to actually put the points on the board. And this is damage limitation. I will go one less. 4-0 Man City.
Leicester City versus Arsenal.
Thomas, they are back. They are back.
Honestly, have you read some of the articles coming out? Like, they win 2 games in a row, and Arsenal are the best team on earth. They figured it out. Smith Bros. I'm just like, it's been like on repeat for 2 years since Arteta took charge. If they win 2 games of the best side on earth, and then they lose 4 in a row, and everyone goes, oh.
Do you want to know the funniest thing about them?
They might figure it out. They didn't win 2 in a row.
They didn't even win 2 in a row. They did get a good win over Aston Villa, though, and they did play well in that game. They scored some good goals. Penalty at the end of the first half. I'm on the fence of it. But look, Arsenal were just in a rebuilding stage, aren't they? That's all they are. The Arsenal fans will overhype every win because that's what they do. But they're just trying to kind of find their way under Arteta, and a lot of them will probably still not be convinced he is the man. And once they go on a bad run again, I'm sure all the knives will be out for Arteta. But while they're playing well, and players like Smith Rowe are playing well, then they are pretty good side to watch, I would say. And Ramsdale's done well, and Ben White's looked okay at the back. Gabriel's looked decent at the back. Tomiyasu I like the look of him as well as a fullback. They look they look an all right side, but Leicester's usually a team they struggle against, and Leicester look like they are back in business.
Yeah, Leicester look awesome again. They look right back to their best. James Maddison got his goal this weekend, didn't he? He looked really, really useful against Brentford, and Brentford are not a side that I think are easy to beat at any time. They just keep going for it. They're well organized. They're a tough side to play, and Leicester had a really good game plan, and they won it. And their best players are coming to the fore. So Soyuncu's looked really good for the last couple of weeks. Turns out that, I mean, it's just like any great center back pairing. Like, it tends to take two to make it work, if you know what I mean. And Soyuncu and Evans, they look really good when they play next to each other, and they're both playing really good football. So I think Leicester will win this game. I think it'll be a bit of a come-down moment for Arsenal, but I think they'll score a goal. I'm going to go 3-1 to Leicester.
Oh, Leicester do normally win it, and they are the better side than Arsenal. And although as much I don't have a lot of love for them, the young lad they found up front, Daka, had a great week. 4 goals in the Europa League, set up Maddison nicely for a tap-in winner in the game against Brentford. But I have to go Gooners. 2-1 win for the second greatest club side in the world. Oxygen United are the best.
Well, after that, total insanity for me. And let's bring up some more crazy things. Why don't you guys consider supporting us on Patreon? We really want to thank everyone that already does thank us on Patreon. And welcome back to Grandstand Bettors, who have just re-upped their subscription of support to us. So thank you. Check out Grandstand Bettors. They're fantastic. They're the best tipster website. But thank you to JP Morgan. Thank you to Christina Allen, Robert Allen, Grandstand Bettors, and Matthew Bowden, and everyone else who shows their support to this channel. Like, everything you guys put into the channel, we put back out into things like this. Look at this microphone. It works really well.
Yeah, people won't actually see that. That's great, because we'll put a different... That won't be on the screen, but well done, Thomas. The Grandstand Bettors thing, we can't hype them up enough. I mean, if you like sports and you like gambling on sports, these are the people you should be going. Go over and check out their website. Get your daily tips from them on Twitter and on YouTube as well, and you will certainly be quids in. That is for sure.
And we lead into the second part of our Premier League predictions with Aston Villa versus West Ham United.
Battle of the Clarets. Claret and blue armies all around. West Ham had a good win over Spurs and up to 4th in the table, so they'll be deluding themselves that they're going to be playing Champions League football next season. Aston Villa, their fans seem to want to heap pressure on Dean Smith, Tom. They seem, if you're outside of Aston Villa, like we are, you just think, well, they're doing all right. Dean Smith's doing a good job. They're a steady Premier League side now. But whenever they lose a game or they go a couple of games without a win, the Villa fans seem to want him out. I don't get it.
It's nuts. But, that's football fans to a T. They had a little taste of what it was like to be really successful last season, and they did that on the back of a world-class player like Jack Grealish. They've lost Grealish. They've replaced him really well. Villa are still a good side. They have always had this weird fallibility where even last season they'd be playing really well and just magically lose games. That's kind of, they played well against Arsenal. They probably didn't deserve to lose it 3-1, but they did. But at the same time, they're 13th in the Premier League. They've only been in the league for about 2 years now. They've invested the money what looks like really well thus far. The side play a really good brand of football as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what you complain about, but I mean, firstly, when I read the next article saying West Ham are a top 4 side, I am going to find the author and kick him in the private area or something. But it's just, they look good. They're a decent side. They're probably a top 7 Premier League side. Are they top 4? No, they're most definitely not a top 4 Premier League side. But Antonio's playing. We talk about this every week. They're so much better with him up front. I think they're going to beat this Villa side. I think it's going to be tight and cagey. I think they'll win 2-1.
I think that's where West Ham are just a bit better than Villa is, because they're a bit more versatile. They can be free flowing and exciting, but they can also be gritty and ugly and get the dirty wins like they did against Tottenham. And I also think West Ham will win this, and I don't think it's crisis at Villa by any means. I think West Ham will win 1-0 again.
Burnley versus Brentford.
Look, Burnley got a good draw against Southampton, but they really should have won it. I forget to say on this channel, I cannot believe they've got Maxwell Cornet playing for them up front. The guy was in the Champions League semi-final, not too long ago with Lyon, when they had that run to the... Hey, you're looking at me like I'm mad.
Yeah, because Leon went to a Champions League final like 10 years ago, wasn't
No,
it?
semi-final. And they 2 years ago when they.
That was a weird year, though. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And now he's rocking up at Burnley. It does seem a little bit weird, but Brentford have been amazing, really, and I think 12 points at this stage is great, and they're looking good in every single game, and they've been a little bit unlucky. And I actually think Brentford are going to win this game. I'll put them down for a win here. I think they're going to get a 2-1 win.
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw in this one. Burnley somehow contrived to get a result this early in the season that didn't help either side, which is pretty rare, but they've been playing pretty bad football. I just think they'll draw with Brentford. They're really well drilled. Brentford can have a hard time scoring goals, and Burnley do grind you down. There's nothing... I mean, Burnley are the last side in the Premier League, right? We got rid of all our Stokes and stuff, but Burnley are still one of those sides that it is just tough to play against.
Yep. Yeah, well, no, they are a tough side to play against. They haven't won a game yet, but speaking of bad sides, here's 2 more of them. Norwich City versus Leeds United.
I just want to clarify that Liverpool have the best goal difference in the league. It's plus 21. Norwich have a minus 21 goal difference. They have 2 points from 9 games. It's utter insanity at how this club is run. People are saying the players aren't playing for Daniel Farke, but they have not invested in Premier League quality players in a while. They seem very happy to build championship squads, keep them going for a year, get them this 25% pay rise, and instantly go back down, drop them back to an affordable wage, clean the floor with the league, and they'll come back again, and they'll just keep picking up this £100 million in Premier League money. It is really boring to watch Norwich play unless you like seeing your team score goals. I think Leeds will finally come good here. I'm going to go with 3-0 to the Lily Whites.
Yeah, big shame for Leeds that Rafinha went down injured, but they do look a step off. I mean, I think Phillips is nearly back in to their starting 11, which will make a big difference. They've still got the useless Patrick Bamford up front, though, unfortunately. But I'm going to go for a 2-0 Leeds win. I agree with you exactly about Norwich. They even tried to lie and say that Daniel Farke's made them more cagey this year because they got 2 0-0 draws in a row. But that went out the window, didn't it, against Chelsea?
Watford versus Southampton.
What a win for Watford. And we talked about the Man United game overshadowing everything, but they went to Everton and won by 5-2. King came back to haunt Everton with a fantastic hat-trick. I don't know where it came from. More of the same, please. And for Roberto the Hornet, our Watford fan, I'm going to put you down for another swashbuckling Ranieri-style win like he did with his Leicester boys over a Southampton side. I'm going for 3-1 Watford.
I'm going for 3-1 to Southampton. Yeah, I'm just not sold on this Watford side. Great result, but it's Claudio Ranieri, so he's going to change all 11 players and then say he didn't understand why the players didn't know what's going on. Wolves versus Everton.
Hwang scored again, Thomas. I do like this Jimenez-Hwang partnership up front, and they really should have beat Leeds. It was a last-minute goal, which would have been another nice little win for Wolves, who was just kind of finding their groove now. I think they'll be fine under Bruno Mars. Everton continue to be a bit of an enigma under Rafa, and I think they'll continue that all season. This was a shocker of a result. But I don't think they're going to get anything in this one. I think it'll be another point all around. I'm going to go for 1-1 again.
You go for 2-1. There's something about this Everton side. They're just nuts. But Rafa Benitez, the second coming of great Everton, and now 14 points from 9 games. They're sat in 8. Nothing special. Getting exactly what you thought you were going to get out of them. Bored. On that bombshell of a fact, Everton fans, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit every box you can in the window as long as it does not involve leaving the window. Thank you for watching this. League One predictions come out tomorrow. See you then.